Now, leading on from the definitions of the terms and the fact that we know it's now compulsory upon us, what are the best methods during these testing times, let's say, for Muslims? I mean, I don't know if there's any more or less testing than it was 100 years ago, to be honest, but because I wasn't alive then. But I think that we need to know during this particular time, with these particular attacks on Islam that you see prevalent in the media, what are the best methods that we can utilize in order to give dawah to non-Muslims?
There are many strategies and various methodologies that can be used for doing dawah. Some are less effective while the others are more effective. The most common method used is that whenever a Muslim meets a non-Muslim, he speaks 100 good things about Islam. Even if the non-Muslim agrees with the 100 points that have been mentioned to him regarding Islam, yet he will have a few negative points at the back of his mind. He will say, you are the same Muslim who is a fundamentalist. You're the same Muslim who is a terrorist. You are the same Muslim who marries more than one woman. You are the people who subjugate the women by keeping her behind the veil. These few negative points at the back of his mind will prevent him from accepting the beauty of Islam. That's the reason, whenever I meet a non-Muslim, I ask him up front, ask him the first question. What do you feel is wrong with Islam? With your limited knowledge, whether right or wrong, what do you feel is wrong with Islam? And I make him comfortable. He can criticize Islam, he can attack Islam, he can criticize the Quran, and I make him comfortable that he can ask any question. What does he feel is wrong with the religion of Islam? And after I make him comfortable, he poses about 4 or 5 questions. And more than past 15 years that I've been in the field of dawah, I have realized that there are about 20 most common questions that are asked by the non-Muslims. And when we pose to a non-Muslim, what does he feel is wrong with Islam? He asks 4 or 5 questions, and invariably it falls amongst these 20 most common questions. Now, how have these 20 most common questions come about? They have come about in the mind of the non-Muslim depending upon how the media portrays Islam. Today we have on the international media, in the international newspapers, international magazines, international radio broadcast stations, international satellite channels, we find that there is virulent propaganda about Islam. They are bombarding misinformation about Islam. So depending upon how the media portrays Islam, these 20 common questions arise in the mind of a non-Muslim. A couple of decades earlier, these 20 questions were different. Maybe a couple of decades later, these 20 common questions will change. Depending upon how the media portrays Islam, these questions arise in the mind of a non-Muslim. And I always say that if every Muslim knows the logical reason and the scientific reason regarding the answers to these questions, with the quotation from Quran, Hadith, and other religious scriptures, even if he cannot convert the non-Muslim, at least he can neutralize the animosity which is there in the mind of the non-Muslim. It will be the best tool. And I've written a book on this topic, Answers to Most Common Questions Asked by Non-Muslims. And if a person memorizes this, inshallah, he will be able to remove the animosity from the minds of the non-Muslims regarding Islam.
Inshallah. That's excellent, and may it continue to be a benefit, all of this knowledge which you've, alhamdulillah, been able to move forward in the field of dawah, inshallah.